Welcome back to the Outdoor Movement, ladies and gentlemen. It's Blair. I'm back home from hunt camp. Spent a couple days up in Buckingham at the cabin. Had some success. Shot a doe, shot a big doe, shot a nice 8-pointer, and now I'm back home and I'm gonna start processing this meat. So a couple videos I'll probably be putting out, or at least condensing this into one, is how to make things other than just jerky and ground deer meat, because people get tired of eating the same thing over and over again. You can use ground deer meat for a lot of good recipes. There's a million different ways you can use it once it's ground, but there's a lot of other ways that you can prep this meat and be ready to make other just delicious meals with it that you couldn't do if you just ground it all up or cut it all into jerky. So first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the MeatEaters recipe. They use it for goose pastrami, but I use it for deer pastrami. So we're going to cut some hunks of meat down to manageable size chunks. We're going to make a whole lot of pastrami because the stuff freezes really well. I absolutely love pastrami, so it's a win-win in my book. I will probably make about 5 to 6 pounds of it out of this deer meat. So the first step of that is getting your ingredients squared away. All right, so the first tool for success is obviously having the right ingredients. The one I'll key in on that's less common than the rest of these is this Tender Quick. So I had to order this off Amazon. It came in two 2-pound bags. That was the most cost efficient, and I knew that I love pastrami so much that I would be making this year after year. So this is an important part of the recipe. You have to have it. I recommend just ordering it online. It got here fairly quickly. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of the Mortons Quick Tender. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of fresh ground peppercorn, which I've already done here in this bag. That took quite a while with this little plastic cheesy grinder. Probably gonna have arthritis from that. But, and then we're gonna need a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. And that is your cure. So that is what you're gonna cure this meat in. We're gonna combine all these ingredients, we're gonna roll our meat in this, and we're gonna continue down the process. I've got quite a bit of meat cleaned up here. You can see that's a whole giant plate full, probably 8 pounds or so. And I'm making myself some bags here. What you're gonna do, we got all of our seasoning mixed up here. We're gonna take our seasoning, we're gonna put some on a plate, and we're gonna thoroughly coat each piece of meat. And then we're gonna air seal as many pieces. It doesn't have to be one per bag. We'll put as many as we can, and we'll air seal each one of these bags. And then you let it sit in your fridge for 5 days. All right, so easy peasy. We got our spice here. There's nothing really to this other than just make sure it is thoroughly coated. And then toss it in your bag. We're gonna rinse and repeat that process until we run out of meat or marinade or brining solution, I guess you say cure, because this is actually a curing process. And the big part about this is once you get it in bags and you air seal them, you want to flip them every day. That is explicit in the instructions, to flip the bags once per day to make sure that they're properly getting evenly cured, because you'll get a little moisture producing in the bag. So we've rolled that one. There's our first bag. That should be good. I'll just take this guy, roll it, get it all covered up. You want seasoning on every little spot you can get it. You're actually going to wash all this off when you're done, so don't worry about if you go too heavy in anywhere. You just want to make sure you don't go light. That is the key. Now once you've got your stuff seasoned and ready to go, we're going to just suck all the air out of it. And get it, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want most of the air out of it. They say you can use a reusable bag. I prefer to just burn up a couple of these air seal bags. They don't take long to make, and you know, you get a good quality seal on your meat. All right, there you have it. a whole bunch of pastrami ready to go in the fridge. And again, we're gonna set that for 5 days. The recipe says 3. I find that you get much better flavor if you let it sit for an extra day or 2. 3 minimum, I'll say that. 3 minimum, 4 if you like flavorful pastrami, 5 if you like that flavor penetration to get really deep down into that meat. What I've done is I've made little 4 packs of steaks, which everybody loves a tenderloin steak. But I made a bunch of packs of thin sliced hind quarter mixed with tenderloin for Philly cheesesteaks or steak and cheese subs, steakums, you know, that style. Works good in like a chipped beef. Amazing cut. Easy to do. You can burn through some of the meat pretty quickly doing that. And then also down to my trimmings from all my meat that I've been cutting up for dog food. My dog absolutely loves deer meat, so I've been chopping it up and saving little baggies of it for him too in single serving sizes. And you can freeze them in your freezer and they're good for a long time. The last thing is a giant bag of jerky. So a little bit of everything in the mix. I got my sidekick in the kitchen. Anytime I'm cutting up deer meat, this dog is like a vacuum cleaner. Any scrap you don't want, you just toss it to him and he woofs it. But he's over here pawing at the dog bowl, so we gotta hook him up. Yeah. All right, so we're down to the last piece of meat on deer number 1. That's the buck, the 8-pointer. I think this one I'm gonna cut up into cubes for kabobs. So I'm gonna trim off all of your fat and silver meat and then just cut this into beautiful little red meat chunks. And I'll bag that up and I'll label it kabobs. So that gives me pastrami, jerky, Philly cheesesteak, and kabobs and steaks. So a little bit of everything. Good mix. All right, there you have it. Kebab nuggets, all cleaned up, looking beautiful. And that is about 1 freezer serving size. And that does, you know, makes about 4 or 5 kebabs when you mix it with some vegetables. And that's a whole meal at deer camp. So. All right, I just want to put this in perspective for you. That one deer, I still have another whole deer to clean, but that one deer made deer kebabs. 1, 2 packs of deer steaks. 1, 2, 3 packs of Philly cheesesteak. 3 dog trimming servings. A whole bag of jerky, and look at all this pastrami. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giant packs of pastrami. So that is why you get out there in the woods and enjoy the outdoors, to bring all of this food to the table. When the times are tough, it's always nice to know how to feed yourself. So just have to throw that out there. But we're going to keep cutting on the next deer and do a couple more cuts. But for tonight, that's it. It's 11:34. Been working on this for 4 hours now. But well worth it when you break these out, especially pastrami. God, I love that stuff. All right, this is the easy step. We're taking them, giving the old flip-flop. And that's it. You just do that once a day. And that just lets all the juice soak through the meat. Yeah, look how pretty that is. Oh, that's pretty. That looks like some beautiful pastrami. So once you've gotten your pastrami, it's cured for 4 to 5 days in the fridge. Take it out, cut those bags open, put it in your sink, and just soak it for 30 to 45 minutes. And then we're going to take it outside, and we're going to throw it on old Doug's pit boss. And we're going to bring it up to 225 for about 2 hours until we get an internal temperature of 150. Now, before you chuck this stuff on the grill, you're going to want to make sure that you make the same seasoning blend You just want to do it without the cure this time, and you're just going to lightly coat the outside of it before you throw it on the smoker so that you get a nice bark on it. All right, guys, so the final step of this process, we're running the smoker, and you can see we got them all chilling in here. We just sampled the first one. That's absolutely amazing. But you want to bring them up 150 degrees. So tell me about this masterpiece we're cooking on tonight, Doug.
It's called the Easy Bake Oven made by Pit Boss. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people do refer to it as an easy bake oven, though, because you can set it and forget it. Basically, you just get it up to the temperature that you want to smoke it at, which 225 to 250 is what we usually do.
Yep.
And make sure that you clean your grate off, because you always want to leave all your drippings and crispies on the grill from last time, so it keeps your grate seasoned. And then after it heats up from the initial startup, then you can scrape it all off and then throw your meat on there. And then
so you just program this thing for the temperature you want, hit the button, let it get up to town. You fill this hopper right here, slam full of pellets. We did a this is you already had the competition blend in there, and then we added a bunch of fruit wood.
Traeger competition in there that did have some fruit wood in there, but it was mostly hickory and applewood. And then you brought over the Pit Boss fruit wood, which
might be getting into it now.
It's down to it now, because I had less in the hopper than that.
Okay.
So we're hitting into the fruit wood though. But one thing that we're not doing is utilizing these two ports that you have, the built-in thermometers that have it on your display, and they Wi-Fi them to through the interweb to your cell phone and stuff. So
nice.
We're using the old Therm Pro Insta-Read, which takes a 3-second read to read the inside temperature, and we are up to 137, 138.
And we're looking for 150, guys. That's what we're shooting for, 150.
But
let's do one of the thinner ones. This guy back here, I bet that guy's probably right there. Look at that.
Yep, that's right there.
Let's go ahead and pull that one and eat it. The flying nug. The flying nug.
That's not my fault. That's Doug.
Thin slice her up, Doug. Let's see it.
We're going to start from the middle so you can see the color on this thing.
Give us a nice, beautiful cut right down the middle. That is.
Look at that smoke ring.
Oh my God! Look at the color
just pulls
from
apart with the fork. I barely had to push the knife into it. It was mostly ripping it apart.
Dude, the color from that marinade is just amazing. Look at that pastrami, guys. That is absolutely delicious.
It's just ripping it apart with the fork.
And when you cool this stuff down, you can freeze it for a long time. This will last me till next hunting season.
This meat is so beautiful red.
This stuff turned out absolutely beautiful. Man, and I wish you could taste this through the video. All right, well, there you have it. Pastrami to wrap it all up. We made a ton of cuts. We've made kebabs. We made steaks. We made Philly cheesesteak. We made pastrami. And a little secret, little confession for you guys. I actually did grind 6 to 8 pounds of deer burger. Grinded it with bacon and added a bunch of spices and seasonings. So another recipe added to that as well. Freezer full of meat. Even for the dog. Rip Dog's going to be happy for a while. So yeah, huge win. Awesome time in Buckingham at the cabin. If you haven't seen that video yet, check that one out. That was a really good time. I think you'll enjoy that one. And as always, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for checking us out. If you made it to this point, we genuinely appreciate you viewing our stuff. Catch you on the next adventure. Plenty more to come. Stay tuned.